it is summer. It is summer in South Africa. Why are both of you dressed like this? Like, why do you even have matching head warmers? Like, what's that?
Is that what you
So
want?
it's a chilly summer
Tell you what, man.
In
evening.
December?
December. Yeah. Global warming.
No,
So,
like December in South Africa is always so burning hot. I'm so surprised.
yeah. No, but there's South Africa. There's Johannesburg. Johannesburg
Yeah.
weather is.
When was the last time you were here that you are judging South Africa like that? You've left us a long time ago.
I was there last year, July.
Damn. I wasn't expecting that.
Got you. Well, but yeah, it's a chilly Sunday evening.
Change the color.
Yeah, so
He doesn't want to match with you, Biola.
no, it's okay.
That is so funny. Okay, guys, welcome. Thank you so much for doing this. I actually like that we do this on Sundays because it gives some structure to my day. I have a question I want to ask you guys before we go into the topic that Biola suggested. And obviously it's an important topic. But here's my question. If you meet a woman who has a health condition, it's not life-threatening. She looks after herself. You basically just need to be like emotionally supportive or things like that. She is already in the pipeline to like maybe getting it permanently fixed or something like that. Would you still go ahead to date her if she told you that? Wait, first of all, if she told you that like early on when she meets you, would you consider that a green or red flag? And yeah, maybe answer that first because then it leads into the question of whether or not you would still go ahead to date her.
Okay, Ayo, do you want to go first?
No. All right. Today I'm doing something different. I'm letting all of the, non-intellectual people go first.
All right, intellectual. What I'll say is, I think it. To be honest, it depends. The nice thing to say is, oh yes, of course I will still do it. No, but if there's something, then I think I will go and check it and see. That's the at least for me to support. At least I have to understand what it is.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting. So, but since it's not life threatening, it's not.
It's
For
not
example,
life-threatening.
I
Yeah.
want kids. Is it something that would affect that? These are things that I would
Biola?
look at. What I'm telling you,
You can adopt. All right?
yes, I can.
Yes.
But
You can do surrogacy. Don't be scared.
I'm not
Okay,
scared.
surrogacy
Again,
is
no.
what you said, right?
Yeah, that's
Because
what
I
he was
heard
saying.
surrogacy. Okay,
That's
cool.
what he was trying to say. But yeah, there's the thick
You see, she
accent. So it's fine.
come back here. You were Nigerian once upon a time before you start dating.
I am Nigerian.
No, it sounds like I'm not.
So but yeah. So again, okay, I don't know to answer you, even though you're just rude. Is that like, of course, I would say if I get married and I see and things are not working out, of course I can adopt. That's fine. But before, I would prefer to have like.
So basically saying
and there's nothing wrong with that.
You prefer to have a fertile woman. If she's not fertile, you just dump her on the side of the road.
Well,
it's what you're saying, bro. Just say it with your chest. Say
So-
yes. Yeah. Okay. There we go.
So okay, so also my question is, would you prefer if the woman you were dating had a condition like the one Biola is referring to, maybe something that affects fertility, would you prefer for her to tell you? And if she doesn't and you get married and discover it later, like how do you think that play out?
Okay, it is okay for me as a person. It's definitely better if you tell me, because like I think, ideally, we could say you should say it in the beginning, right? But I understand that can be hard. It's not everybody you just meet to just start expressing things like that. We don't know what it is. Again, I guess depending on how serious it is. But if it's a fertility issue, I think it's something you should disclose once you see that you guys are getting close and intimate. And if it's someone I'm getting close and intimate with, also, when I say intimacy, I'm not saying like, I mean like, I can see there's a future.
You guys are really getting to a point, yeah.
Yes, for you.
Just say it.
For someone who said he wants to.
I was listening to you, but you feel like you're not saying your words. Like you feel like you're holding on to something. Bella, be free. All right, be free. Speak your mind. Go on, Bella.
Okay, Biola, be free.
a little bit, but that's not the point.
Anyway, because clearly something is
I
wrong.
haven't had dinner, bro.
That's why. That's why. So anyway, back to what I was saying. If it is, you tell me. If I'm told what it is, I think I'll just go check it out, and so that I know how much support I can give. But the truth is this: I will not pretend if I cannot help. If it's too much for me, I'm going to say. If it is something that I
Yeah.
feel like I can support, then I will support.
Wheelchair.
Yeah. Wheelchair. That's you see wheelchair straight now.
You know,
Yeah, I'm talking about Ayo, wait, before you start attacking Biotha, don't go into specifics. What would you do?
Be patient. I was like, first date, she's already seated. There was no wheelchair beside her.
No, but still, like that means it seems like something you are hiding.
No, she wants to like her for her, not for her wheelchair condition.
See, okay, let me put this out there. Once it comes across like deceit is involved,
if you don't say anything with if you wait for somebody to fall in love with you before you say anything, say I did deceit. That's not realistic.
That's what I'm saying. Once I've sensed
but
deceit,
if you're getting intimate,
that's the end.
By the time of your intimacy,
if that means once there's deceit.
Can I ask a question? How long does it take you to say that you want to have kids in a date? I mean, like when you're talking to somebody.
I wouldn't say it on the first date.
Brad, right now, you met on the dating app because that's where
there's no
but
okay, your question. I get your question.
You like in that first line of conversation, right? Like before you guys meet for a date, unless you guys say like, hey, I'm feeling you, let's go out on a date the same day or maybe the next day. If you're having a conversation with somebody enough to go out with them, that topic about kids probably would have come.
If it comes up, then I will say.
And then she now says that I would also like to have this amount of kids, but she didn't tell you that she can have them until maybe a month down the road when you guys are now thinking of like things are now getting serious.
Then she says, I can't have kids.
Yes.
If she says,
is that a lie then?
It's not a lie. Deceit and lies are not the same.
That's a lie of omission.
Deceit.
It's not deceit. There's a difference.
Anyway. Okay, let's not debate semantics. Ayo, what would you do? Would you prefer?
Yes, let me give an intellectual answer to this conversation. I'm just messing around, guys. On a serious note, I think as long as it's not something infectious, to me, or that can be passed along to my athletes' kids, to my future Mbappe and LeBron James, and what else?
I think Project Mbappe. Please don't laugh. It's doable. You know what, Ayo? I support you. Project James.
DNA is DNA.
Are you
continue?
You see,
DNA.
Not intellectual people. Will not let us speak.
DNA. Anyway, maybe the missus is going to carry all the DNA, all the work of the DNA.
Okay.
Continue.
It's okay. It's okay. They will not
appreciate. As long as that's not affected, you're fine. Okay. So the reason why I asked this was
I'm not done. I'm stating my condition.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
If it's something that is going to be okay, I'm not going to lie to you now. It also depends on your financial situation. All right. I will give you an example. There's this couple that I really like. He is a YouTuber, and his wife and his now wife. By the time they met, she was already in a wheelchair. She had an accident when she was like, I think 17 or 18, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
I absolutely love them. But it's now a situation where like they've taken before she came into his life, it wasn't something that it was doing or something that it was generally concerned with, because if something is not like if something doesn't affect you, you probably won't go out of your way to care about it. Yeah. But since he has came into life, now they make particular wheelchairs at cheaper the price for people.
Okay.
They make also like these ones where you have batteries in them and they drive. But for people in wheelchair, it's so cool. They actually open a company and they do this. Really, really great couples. But my point is that those were they have an elevator in their house. They built an elevator in their house.
There's a lot.
My idea is that, but the reason why I mentioned all of this is that it's something he was able to do given the situation of their finances, right? Obviously, that's not what everybody needs. You don't need to build a elevator in your house or to start a company if you're having certain medical conditions. But certain medical conditions also require a little bit of money, especially if it's a situation that gets worse over the years, or if it's going to cost a significant amount of money to take care of it permanently. You get my
Mm.
point, right?
Yeah.
However, for me, right, as long as it is said ahead of time, and by ahead of time, I'm
Mm.
not necessarily saying the first day that you guys kind of like start talking, you know.
Yeah.
But Bella
But
said,
early on enough.
yeah, like maybe on a second or third date, or third date. Let me
Yeah.
use the word third date. But to be fair,
Yeah.
I don't really go too much. I don't really go out too much on a date. So it has to be whenever we feel like we are going to be dating. Because I don't date for fun. I'm a very serious person, with serious goals, and I feel like to achieve. Yes, but I'm done. Thank you very much for your time.
Just be
This is my I call BS face, but let's go on.
Yes. What BS?
No, the reason I asked, wait, yeah, the reason why I asked is like, there are lots of women who live with a condition called endometriosis, and
What is that?
this is endometriosis is a pain condition where women, so you know how women have a menstruation every month, right?
Yes.
Because they have like a wall that sort of like builds up in the
We
uterus and
got
it
the
sheds.
we got the idea on that part.
Are you uncomfortable with
And
this?
I've actually
exactly, like you cannot be uncomfortable at this age, please.
went to go read up on it again. I've also had girlfriend and so
Okay,
certain
cool. So in endometriosis, and I know I'm not doing the explanation justice, but in endometriosis, those cells grow outside of the uterus and
Okay.
they cause pain. So like when a woman has a period, for example, those cells are also like
Shed.
basically shedding, contracting. So she's having pain in all the places where they grow. So it can grow on the intestines, it can grow on the bowels. Obviously those are the intestines. It can grow on the diaphragm, in the chest area. Some people said they found it on their lungs as well. So it's a pain condition. For some
But
women, the pain is only during their periods and then it stops. And then for some women, the pain just continues. And if they have it on their bowel, it can cause like issues with being able to digest food and things like that. So it's a pain condition that's like just crazy. And the kind of
wait,
pain I'm talking about is the person is bedridden because they can't move, like they're just in really bad pain. Now,
okay.
endometriosis also has an infertility component to it sometimes. There are women who have it and then they have surgery and then they're able to give birth to kids or get pregnant. And there are women who have it and even after surgery, they just can't get pregnant. And so there's a lot of advice out there for those women who is like, don't tell a man you have endometriosis. Like wait until you guys have gotten together. And my argument is always like, it's better to tell the guy ahead of time so that he knows if he can stay or not. Like if he's not going to stay, he's not going to stay.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't like, because endometriosis is not something you can keep a secret. If you catch my drift, like when you have your periods, at some point you'll be like, why are you non-functional? Like you're completely non-functional. What did you say?
I said if you try hard enough, you can keep anything a secret.
Not
The
endo.
thing, the thing is this: the person may not know what it is, but they will know there's a problem.
Yes. But they don't have
Yeah.
to know.
But and the worst part is they will probably think it's better they know that there's a condition, right? Than
Mm.
you hiding this, and they just think maybe you are lying or you are exaggerating your pain, or there are just so many
It could
things
just be
that
like
fill
it's
in the
monthly
gap.
cancer. Some guys are at that point.
What monthly
Huh?
cancer? You want to play with the word cancer?
Okay, let's not play with cancer. But basically, like with people who have endometriosis that have like some medical intervention, they might have things to help them manage the pain. If you catch
Uh,
my drift. So they will, so that's why I said like that's condition I had in mind when I asked that question. Like it's
uh,
not life threatening. It's not like you die. It can reduce the quality of your life. But you also look after yourself in the sense that your doctor might say, here's a pill you can take every month or an injection that will help you manage the pain. It's not always 100%, but you can live life if that makes sense. Like you can function.
but
You don't have to die every month.
it's definitely important to tell your person because they need to then understand that once it's your period, it's not the regular, oh, it's my period. This is a at least if it's the if it's the type that happens during the period, then you know,
Mm.
okay, I need to show more concern, like extra concern to my person. That's if you
I
even want to
wouldn't
Mm.
use
stay
the
in the
word
first place.
concern. I would use the word care.
Okay, care,
Because concern is like it's not going to die
okay,
for
care,
me.
care, care, care is more appropriate. That's
Yes.
true.
Yeah.
Intellectual.
So yeah, yeah,
Yes.
but hiding it in quotes to in quotes, you if it's this is the truth. This is what I would say. If it is someone who is honest and and forthright and expect the same from you. If they find
Mm,
out that you've known all this while and you were hiding it, it will damage the relationship. Even if it
mm,
doesn't break it, it will damage the relationship.
Damage can be
mm.
repaired. Have faith, people.
Sometimes you should be serious.
I am being serious.
But
Damage.
also, like, I mean, if you have endometriosis, or if a woman's got endometriosis and there's an infertility component to it, because I think lots of women who have it don't know if they will be able to have kids. It's
It's
just a
true.
matter of when you get to that bridge, you will cross it. And a lot of them get advice to like maybe just freeze your eggs because you never know. So I mean, I've
Yeah.
just been reading a lot of like where people are like, no, don't tell, especially like Nigerian people are like, no, don't tell anybody you've got it. When you get into the marriage, you guys will sort it out. And I'm always like, no, tell the person
Why would you
because
want to subject yourself?
My advice is right. My advice is don't do that. Be honest. But at the same time, I can see where they are coming from. Especially if it's Nigeria. Anything people hear that has to do with what they call it, sickness and babies. You're not gonna be able to have babies.
No,
Run
no.
away.
See, again,
it's the
again.
culture.
Why are you?
That's
Why?
not my advice.
So
I
this
don't say I
is
see
so
their
this
point
is
of
this
view.
is it for me. Why are you getting married? Are you getting married to tick a box to say I'm married, or are you getting married because you want to
There are
be
a lot
with
of reasons
somebody?
people get married.
Listen, that's I'm saying why. There are good
There are
reasons. There
political
are bad
marriages.
reasons. That's fine. If you are in a political marriage, then there's probably a side chick somewhere. If that's what you want from
No. Some people are faithful politically married.
Ayo,
Oh God, what does that have to do with what we're saying, though, Ayo?
side things,
Eh?
and this is a very
What? How
serious.
does that relate to what we're saying? He's basically saying, like, why are you getting married? Are you getting married because you want to tick a box? Yes, I'm married, I've got kids. Or are you getting married because you found your person? Like, this is my companion for
No,
life.
but again, don't go too wide.
I wasn't. What I was trying to get at is that there are plenty of reasons why people get married. All right. And there are plenty of reasons why some people can't tell. You cannot tell their experiences. And that's why I said I understand that won't be my advice. Again, it wouldn't be my
You
advice.
get where they're coming from, like a
But I can get
cultural
where they're coming
component
from.
to it.
But
Let's move on.
what
Let's move on. So, Biola suggested the topic of today, reasons why you should break up with your partner, right? Biola, do I have that right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. If your
Both of you
partner,
are so funny right now. You look like two siblings who are not speaking to each other. I need
if,
Biola to just like stop looking up in the opposite direction. Like I don't even want to look at Ayo's face. And Ayo, your examples are so outlandish. I don't understand like why we're always going to all these great lengths. Please let us stay within the
it
context of what we're talking about.
it takes devil's advocate to
But you know what, I appreciated what you guys have said because I think that, I mean, this is not a secret, I have endometriosis, and I think that a lot of people don't understand how weird it is for someone who has it, especially when you have those kinds of conversations. Like sometimes, like Ayo said rightly, you meet somebody on the first day and they're like, oh, so do you want kids? And obviously you're like, yeah, can I make them? It's a whole different story. And I like it's a difficult conversation, but I get like what Aya said. Like sometimes with some people you can't tell them, and I stay away from those people because for me, I'm just like, let's all just be honest up front. I don't want to invest because you can also invest in the relationship for a whole month, and
Yeah.
then by the time you tell them, they still disappear anyway.
Yeah.
So it's best to just like put it out there and let it be known, like, okay, this is something that's it's not my fault. I didn't bring about it.
So for you, you prefer to say it like from the get go.
I
When
don't
that
bring it up. I don't
yeah,
just bring it up out of the blue.
case,
Yeah,
the
but
case,
if someone asks me, yeah, if someone says, "Oh, do you want kids?" I say yes, but and I also ask them, "Do you want kids?" If they say yes, I'm like, okay. And they're like, "Oh, how many do you want?" Then I'm good. Well, yeah, if I can get one, I'll be happy,
do you have to have your own
right?
case? Is there something that is
I
that not
don't. I don't. Oh, and this was a great thing. You know, friends are amazing people. So when I had my last medical appointment and we are talking about this, I then called my friend and I said, I'm just thinking about the fact that I might not be able to do this. And she was like, that is amazing, Demi. Then you're going to stay hot and sexy and you can have a surrogate. And she was just trying to bring a different perspective to say,
ah,
don't get sad about it. Like there's so many other options. You can have a surrogate, you can adopt a child, you can do all these things. So don't be too scared. Like, so just like that's why I said friends are amazing. Huh?
have you frozen your eggs?
Why are we discussing that on YouTube?
Is that
yes.
really?
Never this deep for person. You should know that by now.
I didn't know
You
that.
of all
We're
people.
discussing medical.
Oh yeah, tell us your girlfriend's name.
Nancy. I thought I was scared. Tell us your
What's her
girlfriend's name.
last? What's her last
Yeah.
name? Let's go look her up on Facebook, on Instagram.
Go look her up if you can find her. I don't even know
What
that.
is her last name?
I don't know. I
Tell
can't.
us. Let's go.
Really,
Let's Google her right now.
it's
Since
not
you
cheap.
want to search.
Don't worry, spell it.
I don't know. I don't know the full spelling twist. I know it started at N.
Oh,
Man, I've dated a girl I cannot even pronounce her first name. You think this is bad?
oh, that is so funny. You know, I went on a date with this guy, and when he texted me back, I wish I could find the. I think he just remembered the first part of my name was Demi, and then he added some random 2 syllables to the end.
Hey,
And I
man,
thought it was so funny, but I,
it's-
I didn't take it. I didn't find it offensive. I thought it was hilarious, and I was like, at least you remembered that it was 4 syllables. So you were
Yeah.
like, it's Demi something, and then you just put the additional 2, and I was like, well, it's not that,
Yeah.
it's Demi Lade. Like I
Just
didn't find it offensive at all.
I
It just
believe
it
every
was hilarious.
Nigerian has a date. Yeah,
she does. I did.
but
I can't hear you guys.
no, I'm saying that people tend to believe Nigerians. We have all Yoruba people tend to have Ade in their name because Ade is just.
Oh,
But you also have Ade.
But you have Ade.
I mean, you're typical Nigerian as they come. And then you see
I
Ade.
am. I'm Demi Lade.
I'm Demi Lade. She didn't even say it right. This she's gone. She's what you call you know what you call the Nigerian kids that are born abroad. And then they come out. There's a name for them, like when a kid is born abroad, they call them a particular name. Like
Tokumbo.
Tokumbo, yes. But this one is
No.
not this one is not boy yet. It's just Tokun.
Kotibo.
You're
Oh,
not
this
see.
Kolebomo.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah.
So Biola, yeah. Sorry, you want to say something?
No. Please.
I was going to say, Biola, you lead us because this was your topic suggestion.
No. Since I brought it up, you guys should answer. Okay, Ayo.
Yes.
What,
Introduce and then we will answer.
okay, so this is it's basically if you are in a relationship and you see these things, you probably should start preparing your exit. That's
like, what are
the
the
question
signs?
is what you see or your exit plan.
No, not the exit plan. What is deciding to exit? Once you decide to exit, how you now decide to exit?
Okay, so the question is, what do you see that will cause you to decide
can
to
see
exit?
all these things, or to you this is just normal, but then we then say, oh, look, if this is in your relationship,
Yeah.
you probably should.
Oh, yeah. Are we giving
Like for
advice?
example, okay, there's this abuse. There are people who take abuse, especially even physical abuse, any form of abuse, of course. But there are people who take abuse as he loves me,
Yeah.
or even she, because
She cares, yeah. It's passionate.
It's jealousy. It's
Yeah.
out of care, and that's why he's doing it. I actually know someone. Not even I heard. I know someone who, if our partner, no, of course not. If our partner does not hit her, for her, he doesn't care about her enough. So there's no point. So she has like you know how everybody has a window in the first 3 months. If this guy has not tried to hit her or hit her, she's just like, he doesn't like me, and she's out.
Oyo is so silly. Did you hear what he said? He said, advise her to become a fighter.
Since she can take beatings.
So she can engage.
At least let her monetize this. But yeah, so that's an example. And I tried to explain that,
Yeah, okay. So what are things that you would see that would make you go, okay, I need to prepare my exit?
She needs to know that you care. So it doesn't seem like she's just telling her.
Don't worry, I'll introduce her to you so you can.
I'm not interested in making new friends, unfortunately.
Okay.
I'm a closed book.
I need both of you to be less catty today. Thank you.
All right.
Ayo?
For me, right, personally, the things that are like certain situations for me, like I mentioned the last time, right? For me, consideration is the biggest thing. For me, personally, if I feel like you're not considerate of whatever the situation that we are in, I can't date you. Or not date you. I can't.
Like you're already dating. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't marry you. And if I can't marry you, there's no point in us dating. All right? There's no point in us continue dating.
Okay. Can you give a scenario of what you consider inconsiderate?
Inconsiderate is like, let's say, okay, whenever you make a decision that can affect whoever you are dating, even if it's ministry, right? You might not think that this is a big deal to them, but we are trying to share a life here. That's the whole concept of it. For me, dating is is as serious as marriage. The only difference is marriage is for life. Dating, you can still get out. And
You
I know
can deep.
that might be a little bit shallow because some people value date. Some people don't see the difference between dating and marriage. I respect that. You see, actually, I respect that point of view because that means that it's, for us that are dating to marry, right? It's almost like an interview kind of a process, or it's almost like the end goal is marriage, and hence we do not fully commit to whoever we are. Somebody once said something. Imagine you are dating somebody and they passed away, but you cannot actually grieve with their family. You can't attend their wedding or their funeral on some level of capacity because
I
you are
get
just
you. Yeah,
people don't value
you're like an external person. Yeah.
exactly
You're not
your feelings
family.
are not what's the word, are not validated up to that extent because you do not believe that marriage. You get my point, right?
I get you.
And the reality of the situation is like your feelings between now on even now. Like I'm not none of us is married, so I wouldn't know. But that's the situation is like if you get married today, your feelings won't change. Let us be realistic. I don't know about any of you, but I don't think that's how feelings change. You know, like when you get married, the Lord above give you extra feelings, bam, on top marriage. I don't think that's how it works. I think that you grow more in marriage. You get my point, right? Like there's that level of commitment that is just different from dating. I admit that. But I don't think your feelings change. So like how come whenever you're dating, your feelings are not validated as much? You get my point, right? So that is why I'm saying
Okay.
like dating and the views of dating and marriage are different. But
Okay.
personally for
Okay.
me,
It's the
consideration is
inconsiderate. Yeah.
yeah, point, right? Like, is
Yeah.
this where like you choose to live your life as if your partner's life is not intertwined with yours because you
Oh,
never
I now get you. Yeah. So what you're saying is that if someone makes a decision that way in dating without considering
yeah
how you feel,
yeah
it will likely continue into marriage because they're not validating your feelings in the
exactly,
dating stage anyway.
exactly.
So that
And
won't necessarily. Yeah.
So
That makes
even
sense.
so,
and
so
also
to buttress your point,
yeah
like for example, there are people who like, hey, they're dating, right?
yeah
And then you travel to another city,
yeah
and they won't even tell
let you
you
know like
that
bruh
kind
Eh?
of thing. And like
yeah
they travel to another city, maybe for work or for whatever, and they don't tell their person, oh,
yeah
there's I'm going here,
and it might even
and
be
they
for the
just
day, it might even be for work,
yeah,
like for a day. That still
What
that's
matters
kind of
just
because
relationship?
it's
What kind of
like imagine
relationship is that?
yeah, but some people do it
the people do
and
it.
that's how it
And
is.
for them, it's just like, why do I have to tell
Like
you? And
imagine
for
you are
them, they feel like when I get married, I'll
yeah.
tell you when we're married.
Imagine you apply for a job, right? Specifically outside of the country, right? It doesn't matter if you get the job or not. It doesn't matter if an interviews come up. The fact that you're thinking of it means that it already puts your relationship at a particular stage, whether
It
decision
puts
might
it
be
in
taken.
jeopardy. Yeah.
You get my point, right? And that's just one of those things. Imagine, let's say your partner is significantly richer than you, right? And
Amen.
they just
I want to be a baby girl.
and you can't even
Go
take
on.
bouquet of roses. Anyway, the
I don't.
bouquet
No, I don't. Oh God, I don't. I don't want tacky things.
is like when the partner is rich, you take it. Anyways, let's go on. Where was I?
That's another
Rich
question for
partner.
another day.
And that thing is like now when your partner is rich, right? And you might not even consider this now, but later in the future, it will you might when you are with your rich partner. You are an independent person as much as you are right now. But if you do not even get to I wouldn't use the word splash, but if you do not, if every of your want and need is taken care of, I promise you to bother you a little bit. If you
Oh
feel
yeah,
like
I like.
no, you
No, no, it's not that way. I get what you're saying, but I was thinking
yeah,
about it differently. But I'm coming back to it.
yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
If you feel like if you grow up in a particular manner, right, where money hasn't necessarily been something that has been sploushed, you get my point,
Mm,
right?
mm.
It will make you feel uncomfortable. A little bit. I promise. Initially,
Okay.
right?
Mm,
If your partner is not
okay.
really
This
like,
differs from person to person, but
yeah,
it's not in
Yeah, I was going to say. I was going to say. I need to.
initially,
it's not.
imagine
Okay.
your
Wait.
yeah, imagine your girlfriend is significantly richer than you,
Yes.
and she buys you a car,
Okay.
and not just any car, a very rich car. Like
A
I'm talking,
very
I'm talking
Yeah,
the,
the
the
Tesla
latest
or something.
Mercedes, not Tesla. Tesla is poor people car.
And the Mercedes is no.
I'm talking a luxury Mercedes, the one with the leather
No,
seat.
like a Spectre X360.
Calm down. We're not talking your dream car yet. We're not talking in general.
Okay, but
But you get the idea, right?
Yeah.
And park it in front of your house, the one you currently live in now.
Yeah.
I promise you, you will feel some type of a way because you can't even accept that gift.
Why can't I?
Okay,
No,
okay. I think
okay, this example that you said,
Yes.
what will make me freak out, right, is
Yeah.
if I did not know you were that, in quote, rich. Like, you've not shown any sign that you can just buy that easily.
Yeah.
I don't know that side of you, and then you suddenly just do this big venture, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it's just basically there's a conflict between the
that
you I
freaks
thought
you
I
out, yeah.
know, and that is the issue.
No, for me,
But if I know that, like, this is it and it's a gift,
for
and
me, I wouldn't.
everything else is fine, I wouldn't have.
Even if I knew ahead of
Okay.
time, I wouldn't take that. I feel like that's
Okay.
situation.
Okay, that's a good that's an
Imagine-
interesting perspective. And I mean, yeah, it's a different one. I was going to say that
Driving a car worth $10 million and I'm parking it here. I'm just asking to get robbed.
No,
and get murdered in my car.
Again, see, for me, I wouldn't.
You get my point, right?
I get your point, right?
Like,
I get your point. Yeah.
I get your point, but I don't see that as a deal breaker. I think it's more.
It's not a matter of deal breaker. It's just a matter of consideration.
But we're talking about deal breaker.
As much as you not think it is a deal breaker later on in life. Like
It's a deal breaker for Ayo. Yeah, that's okay.
Because I will always give you a chance. I will explain that situation to you that you're not being. I wouldn't say you're not being considerate.
Put me in house or what?
Let's start from there. Council permanent with my name on it. No, they can't rob that one. The reason, but I will be like, hey, man, look at the situation where I'm in, right? What am I going to do with this car?
Drive it
to where, nigga?
I don't know. Drive it to one of the pubs in Melville.
Where are you currently? Where do you go to?
Okay,
now?
So wait, no.
Imagine going to go buy groceries at CBD with your $10 million car.
No, so your issue with the thing is, if
you know CBD, right?
If you
this guy will still be taking taxi with his $10 million car still in his house. Like that gift is pointless.
No, so
it's worthless.
Your point is that this person is not thinking about me before they got this gift. They just got a gift.
They just get a gift.
They just got a gift that
exactly.
So even though there's no thought into who I am.
You're not considerate of me.
You really should have just said.
Oh, okay. Okay, now we get that. We get that. Okay, but I think that's the point you were trying to make, because I was going to come in and say, I don't think my partner being significantly wealthier than me and taking care of my needs would necessarily make me uncomfortable. What would make me uncomfortable is if they don't let me spend what I have on them. That would make me uncomfortable. Like being in a relationship where it's just like, just sit here and just keep getting money.
I'm trying to say, what are you going to buy somebody that is that rich that is going to be valuable?
Oh, you will be surprised. You will. I do not belong to the gang of people who are like, what do you get a man who has everything? Please, there is nobody who has everything. There's always a gift you can get somebody, and it doesn't have to be an expensive gift. It should be a thoughtful gift. So that is.
Let us be realistic.
Yeah.
Thoughtful the only reason why that is thoughtful and it's not something it needs.
But you do know that.
Not even something it wants. Something that it might want, but not something it needs.
You do know that at the end, we're not getting what I think this is one thing that people do. They buy gifts because they don't necessarily buy a gift for the person. They buy the gift so that when people hear about it, there'll be a certain feeling about it, which is just ridiculous.
And which is what Ayo is speaking about, yeah.
That's what you're speaking about. So if you buy something for someone,
I'm still saying, if you have Mark Zuckerberg, right, you can't buy him a gift he needs. There's no gift he needs that you can buy him.
How do you know that?
No.
How do you know that? Because just because he has money doesn't mean he's got everything.
Be patient. If you need something, the idea behind need is that this is something you cannot do without. You will go buy it yourself if you have the money.
But what if it's not something money can buy? What if it's not something money can buy, but I happen to have the means and the resources to get it for you, but it's not something you can buy? Because there's so many amazing things in this life that you can't buy with money.
That's what I'm saying. That's not the gift you are buying then. That's something you are giving him. That's not the gift that you are
but
buying.
But the point is, I'm able to...
Come on.
Ayo.
Yeah?
the point is you're able to give the person something. There are people in relationships who do not accept anything from their partners.
Yes.
Anything.
No,
That would make me uncomfortable if I was in a relationship where it was like, don't ever give me anything. I can give you gifts that might not cost money, but cost resources that you don't have. Just because you've got money, it doesn't mean you have everything. So,
that
Biola,
case,
what is your
anyway, let's
what is
just
your sign you should start preparing for an exit? We know IOS is if a person is being inconsiderate. What's yours?
um I think how you treat people, especially
Mm.
people you in quotes feel that, or your partner feels they are better than, how they treat
Uh,
us, how they like, it's something that I look in, like before I in quotes start dating someone, I call it empathy. Like, do you care
mm.
about people? It seems like we all care about, but no, we don't all care about people. There are some people who are just unnecessarily mean. Things they would not expect or do for themselves, they want others to do for them, and they're just mean. And once I see that in you, and I feel like if anyone, once you see that in someone that you're dating,
It's time to exit.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay,
uh,
that's a good one. I think for me, not that you've asked me, but I'll tell you.
please tell.
Um, so for me, I think there are quite a few things that would make me be like, okay, I should prepare my exit. And some of them might seem unserious, but for me, they're really serious. Number one is yelling. If we are having a like an argument or a debate and you start yelling and you go off, there are people who yell, but there are people who also yell and go off on a long rant. Like
okay,
they don't let you say anything. Like you're trying to like, oh no, I didn't mean it that way, or this is what happened. And they just keep going on in that high pitched tone.
okay,
I'm preparing to leave because I feel like yelling is a way of infantilizing your partner. Like we probably all got yelled at as kids. And I feel like for for some people, but I'm not saying you can't yell in the passion of anger, whatever, but some people habitually yell because they know that once they start yelling, you can't say anything. And then they go on a rant yelling. I can't stand it. Like for me, it's like, I can't do this. Like I will think of forever. And I'm like, so for every argument, this is it. I will stand here while you go off on a rant yelling at me. You know how like your parents would maybe like yell at you for one tiny mistake for 10 minutes? That's how
yeah.
I feel. Yes, Ayo.
I feel like I'm in a class. Thank you for letting me teach.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, this is what I want to ask. You've had arguments before. He hasn't yelled.
Yeah,
However, this particular one, he yelled, but he didn't go on the rant. He just
that's
yelled.
fine.
That's fine.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not
Okay.
saying like the moment you yell at me, I'm like, I'm off. Like it's not that because I know sometimes we can get overwhelmed with emotions. What I'm
Okay.
saying is that there are people who habitually, the moment they see that an argument is going in some type of way, they start yelling.
I don't
And
think
then
your
they stay,
I think your issue is
huh?
like this person can communicate properly.
No, it's not.
Yes, the issue is they can't
It's
communicate.
not even a case of this person can
They don't want
communicate.
to.
This person doesn't want me
Yeah.
to communicate with them in
Yeah.
this moment.
Yeah.
Like, or there are certain
Yeah,
It
situations
almost feels like
they
they're
don't want.
scolding
They
you.
don't want a communication. They just want this.
exactly.
Stop talking.
Yeah.
Stop talking. If you stop talking,
And
stop
they
talking.
just go on. Yeah, I can't do it. I
I
can't.
just
Like,
want
I
to say
have.
no,
Hmm.
no.
No, go on, Bella.
I wanted to say like yelling. No, yelling is not ideal. But
Mm.
many times when people yell, they're yelling because they feel like they are not heard, and they
Mm-hmm.
feel like
Mm-hmm.
increase the volume of my voice,
Yeah.
maybe you would
Mm.
hear. So
Yeah.
I don't think that's why they. I don't think they do it consciously like
no, no,
that.
no, no, not it's not conscious, but
Yeah.
more often than not, that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
I think then another discussion can be had like, hey, just you raising your voice
Mm.
doesn't mean I'm not understanding you. We may just not be on the. There's no other things involved in
Yeah.
that. But this
Yeah.
particular scenario you've talked about is not a case of not being
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah. It's not even a case
It's
of
a case of,
Yeah.
you know what, it's my way or the highway. And since you still want to have a different opinion, I want to end this discussion. And this is my way of ending the discussion by just, like, and then you
Yeah.
use the scenario of, I'm the parent, you're the child. How dare you talk back at me? That's,
I want to hear
Yeah.
more. Go on. Number two. That's number one.
Yeah. So number two for me is someone who does not assume good intentions on my part.
hmm,
And this seems like a small thing, but I've realized for me it is a big thing.
It's not
So
small.
no, for some,
What situation?
because
It's not small.
okay, I can paint a picture. So like say for example, I'm dating somebody, right? And they say to me, "Oh, I want to maybe work at Microsoft." Okay? I have a
Yes.
friend at Microsoft who works there, director level. I call my friend and I say, "Hey, I've got this guy. He wants to work at Microsoft. What should he do? This is what he's into. How does he get in?" My friend says, "Oh, okay. Tell him to call me." Now, my kind of personality, if my boyfriend were to say, "Oh, Lisa said you should give her a call about that thing that you want to do," I assume like, "Thank you. Like you actually thought of me and went and spoke to Lisa." But then when
Consideration.
I go to yeah, but then when I go to my boyfriend, I'm like, "Oh, I spoke to my friend who works at Microsoft and they want you to give them a call." And then they start saying,
Why you
"Oh, why
telling
should I call them? Yeah, why you telling them like why you telling
this?
them put in my business?
This thing.
No,
Why
but
is
the thing is, this sounds very oddly
Nigeria.
specific. This example
Yeah.
sounds
it's
like
an example. I am not giving any specifics. I'm just giving you all an example."
Nigerian.
It sounds very Nigerian.
But then
But
like and the person is asking like 10,000 questions. And again, because my personality, if someone says, "Give Lisa a call," I'm just gonna pick up the phone and call Lisa. And I'll work it out based on the vibe I get from Lisa, what I should tell Lisa. You know what I mean? But if they start asking me a lot of questions, and maybe at some point I'm like, just give the guy a call, okay? Like
Can I?
what you're doing.
to say asking questions is not a bad thing. Like, oh, who is she? So that I know how to. There's the what is why behind the questions. Are you asking the questions to facilitate to have information that will facilitate the discussion? Are you asking questions because you are doubting the
Intentions.
intentions of the person? I think that's just
Can
Mm,
I paint and can I give an example and then you tell me
yeah.
if this is in relations to what you're saying?
Okay.
Yes. So let's say you guys are dating, but you guys are not living together, right? You're not living together. You're still in the early stages, you know. The French guy hasn't proposed. He's not the real Bridgerton guy, so you are not madly in love yet. It's still on probation.
the British guy with the French name.
Yeah,
Actually.
we know it. Anyways, in this scenario, you went out with your friends, right? Or you saying you're going out with your friends, right? And you haven't checked in all night, right? And then in the morning, when you wake up, you saw messages of the ease, and then you called him, but he rejected your call. You get my point, right? Obviously, let's say you can add one or two from that situation that is a little bit pissed, or maybe he just thinks that maybe something happened last night. All right. Let's say
Okay.
he's one of the people that you know jumps to conclusion a little bit in that scenario. Does that count as having negative or what is the word she used? Or
Why you
people
asking me?
Negative assumptions about intentions.
yes,
Um
but there is a situational that didn't appear out of
No,
nowhere.
I don't think that's that. I wouldn't.
Not you.
Okay.
So
Let her answer.
please.
Fair.
okay, so for me, I think ultimately I don't think I would assume I would take it as, oh, he's thinking negatively about me, depending on what he's thinking. If he's pissed, like, girl, I was trying to reach you at night to check if you're okay and you didn't even try to respond, that's a
Yeah.
different story. If he's thinking, oh, you went out and you slept with somebody, I'm sure of it, I'm preparing my exit from that relationship, because
Can
why
I
is
say
that your assumption?
If he's not sure of
he's
it,
not sure of
what
it?
if he's just assuming that
But
you
why
guys
is he assuming that?
Because
Based on what?
yes,
it's a
let me,
question.
that's why I said you guys are still getting to know each
So
other.
it's a question of
It's not a 3-year
yeah,
relationship.
that's what I wanted to
It's
say.
a
It's still
6 month relationship.
it's still a problem to me that is the assumption that you would go to, because if I couldn't reach my guy all night
Yeah.
and the next morning I call him and or he calls me, and obviously maybe I'm pissed, like, why didn't you reach out all night, whatever, my
Yeah.
assumption would not be, who was the girl you were with. I'm not that person who thinks like that. I wouldn't immediately jump to that, because I would not go with a guy.
I I I,
So
I share that
I
sentiment
don't
too.
understand where she's coming from.
If for example, if it is somebody you just know this person for maybe 1 or 2 weeks,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even get angry. I'm not saying I wouldn't
Mm.
have. I may have those
That's
questions,
why I use 6
but
months.
if it's 6 months, you
That's why I
probably
use
should
6
know your
months.
person.
Yes, but also
Should know your person.
people cheat.
No,
yeah, I mean,
no.
listen,
So
people cheat and I can leave.
For
But I
me,
would not assume that you've cheated until I have something to hold on to.
and I feel like there are other ways to find.
Question: what if your partner in this particular
Mhm.
situation, in his last relationship, was cheated on, and you were aware because you guys were already friends before you started dating? Would you understand that scenario? Would you be considerate to him in that situation?
Yes, I would, but I would also let him know I'm not here to fight the demons of his past. If he can't get over it, I am not going to fight a ghost. I'm not
Yes.
going to fight your ex-girlfriend's ghost.
I'm not
Yes.
going to pay for the sins
Now,
of.
Now, is it possible that you could help him fight his ghost this one time, empower
How?
him to fight other ghosts in the future?
Which other ghosts are coming up again? Why is
No,
he
no,
fighting ghosts?
no. I'm
Is
saying
this
this time,
Buffy the Vampire Slayer or which one? Are we
Buffy the
in
Vampire, you know that
Twilight?
friendship in the movies and stuff. You know,
No.
can't you assist him this time around?
I think I'll take this on. See, if this scenario you've created or you've said, right, this person has trust issues.
Yes.
At the end, there's no matter what your partner does,
Yes.
you as a person, if you have trust issues, nobody can help you solve that problem. You have to.
Let me say this.
Nobody can
Let
help
me say
you.
this. Be patient. Let me say this.
What?
I agree with you. It is your issues, and you have to work out your issues, and you have to deal with your issues and overcome your issues. However, your partner can assist you in overcoming your issues.
Your partner can assist you.
Yes.
Right? But if reassurance
can be helpful.
This is what I am saying.
Yes.
Wait now. Let me finish.
Yes.
If every scenario that is remotely questionable, your state of mind is not, am I okay? Rather, you are cheating on me, you're cheating on me, you're cheating on me. You're clearly not. And every time your partner is saying, but I'm not.
It's not every time. That's why I said 6 months. The initial 6
no,
months.
that's not the point. Get the point. You said for future scenarios. That's what you said. If it happens once and then we have that talk and I'm like, hey, look, I am in this for this. I'm not here for jokes. I'm whatever you do, the reassuring you're going to do. And this same scene, something similar happens again. And you guys do that same dance.
Yes.
And then that happens again and you do that same dance.
Yes.
That is not
David,
your person.
I'm getting out. I'm sorry. I'm getting out. I don't have the energy. I'm getting you a therapist.
You as a person, you're not taking the steps to deal with that trust issue.
That is true, but also I also see that as a failure on your partner because this particular scenario has happened multiple times now. You get my point?
Yeah.
Does that understand where I'm coming from?
I hear what you're saying.
I hear what you're saying, but I don't agree.
There are situations, if your phone dies, your phone dies. If you don't have, any time anything can be assumed, your mind always goes to the person is cheating. The problem is not with your partner. The problem is with you.
I think you are leaning very heavily on the consideration part of your argument. Like it's like, and I think for me, well, personally, I'll speak for myself. I'm more like, why is that your assumption? Like, I want to know why that is your assumption. Like you've said, okay, if it's someone who's been cheated on before, if I'm dating someone who's been cheated on before, and then when I go out and maybe something happens, or maybe my friend comes to my apartment and she's like, "Hey, Demi, let's go check this out," or whatever, and I go out and my phone dies and you can't reach me, and the next day I'm like, "Oh my God, my phone died. I'm so sorry," and this person came, whatever, and your assumption is that I've cheated. I think the first time I will entertain it and be like, "Oh no, that's not what happened." But if I notice it is a trend where it's like, even if I tell you I'm out, you're just having all these vivid imaginations about, oh my goodness, this is what's happening.
If for you me, tell you of time, then that's the issue.
But again, this your scenario. Somebody with trust issues, have trust issues. Yeah. So even if you tell them, if they are not confident,
they will still assume,
information. Even if you have, it will still come out. If the person is logical, the person is logical about their trust issues.
Can I say something? I agree with what you're saying. But there are levels to trust issues. There are some people that are willing to believe their partners if they are aware of what is going on at the time. And by going on, I mean like, hey, I'm heading out with my girls. I might not be able to communicate with you tonight. If I can't, then I'll talk to you tomorrow morning. I promise
that person doesn't have trust issues anymore. They are healed, because you see that message you've just read out.
Yeah.
For someone who has trust issues, like even the basics of it, they already assume you're not with your girls.
Yes.
Do we have a
So
problem?
you've told them where you're going, but they will still be like, you're not with your girls. You're going
Not
somewhere else. Like,
that's why I said there are levels to trust issues. Like if they are at level one, right, that means we can't work with you. But if they are towards remission, you get a point, like level 7 and so on. No, I promise you. You
why
might think
is 1 the worst and 7 the least?
I don't know. I fucked it up in my head. Okay, we are
That is
there.
such a weird
Okay,
scale.
working with what we have. Okay, we are working with what we have. No, you might think
Okay.
it's joking. This is something that I genuinely like actually see people like bring up. Like also, this happens to with the other way around. If you genuinely love somebody, and I feel like love, and I use the word love now, not just dating as the initial state now, love now. If you know that this person is great everywhere else, and this is their only one problem that they have, right? If you now choose not to be considerate of that, right? The reason why I brought it up is because of what she said, the intentions behind it. You know that this intention behind it is not necessarily you. That's why that's actually my main focus. You know that you're not the inspiration behind this intention. Can you be forgiving of their intention and be considerate going forward? Or can you now be like, hey, I can't work with this anymore?
Let's
Inspirations to her.
let's put your example on the side and what you just said. Yes, yes, I would be considerate the first time, but if I see there's no progress,
You know, the first time is not consideration. The first time,
What to say?
forgiveness. Beyond that is consideration. Do you understand
Okay,
what I'm
Ayo, please do not get too technical about this
yeah, yeah,
because it is
just so
extra technical.
it
It
happens.
is.
We have a talk about it.
Yes.
Even
And
the second time, you can be considerate, but a person cannot make you their crutch.
if it continues
Yes.
and there's no progress on your side,
Yes.
you are not making any changes. You're
Yes.
just saying it's basically it all goes back to this is who I am. Take me as I am.
Yes.
Yes.
If that is who you are and you
Yes.
are not willing to make a change,
Yes.
for me,
Yes.
that I'm not okay with that. And that doesn't make us bad people.
Yes.
But we
I
are
will
not
make. I'll give you an example. I'll give you a live example. So I know someone who was dating a guy, and he would, like, in his previous relationship, he always said that he never felt like he was heard by his partner, right? Like, he was just never heard. Every time he tried to express himself, she would like talk over him, shout him down, whatever, whatever. Now he gets into this relationship, and what she realized is that whenever she's expressing anything that he doesn't agree with, he says, "Oh, you're not trying to hear me." Even when she's saying things that are for his benefit, just
Yeah.
the fact that she's speaking at all. And then obviously started to bring up questions in her head where she's like, was it that your ex wasn't really hearing you, or you were the one who just didn't want to hear anything that she
so
was saying?
like it's now.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
in that case, it's a trend. And I told her, I said, girl, get up and get out, because you will be fighting this woman's ghost for the rest of your life. You dated this guy for a whole year and nothing changed.
Therapy.
He doesn't want to go to therapy because he doesn't believe therapy is a real thing. He's one of those guys. I don't know if you've met guys who say this. They're always like, therapy doesn't give you solutions, and men are solution driven. And so they would rather go to a place where the person's like, here's what you should do, here's what you should do, here's what you should do. And I'm like, no, when you go to therapy, there are hidden things that you might discover about yourself in therapy. And the onus is on you to do the work. I have been in therapy before for almost a year, actually a year or so. And I know how it helped me and how it sort of like shaped how I view things. But there are guys who are like, no, we don't want to do that. And he happens to be one of those guys. It's like, if you're not giving me the solution and saying, here, do this, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So in that case, you can't keep fighting somebody's ghost, because what this guy is doing is he's making you a crutch for a problem he did not solve in his past relationship.
I agree with you on that one. I agree with you. Live. I'm not judging them.
But anyway,
I'm not saying lack of growth is if there's no lack of growth on their part, then you can easily,
yeah, if there's a lack of growth, like if they're growing and it's like, yeah, you can see it's different. But if someone's always like, I mean, for me, I'm always like, why do you have the bad assumptions? Because if I'm dating you, why are you patting Biola? Biola, move closer to Ayo, let him give you a hug.
Did you see the way he folded his arm? Like he has given up on life.
Oh my God. He's telling you to relax, loosen up. Oh my goodness, that's so cute. But for me, I'm just saying, like, if I'm in a relationship with you, I don't want to fight any of you. I don't want to fight your ex's ghost. I can understand where you're coming from, the same way you would understand the things that trigger me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the onus is on me to work on those things. If, for example, there are things that maybe happened to me when I was young, like maybe for example, like if someone used to insult me with something when I was young and then you make a joke about it, I have to assume because I'm with you that you have good intentions. It might hurt me and I might say, babe, when you say that, it triggers me a little bit. But the onus is still on me to understand that this guy doesn't mean to hurt me.
Yeah.
That's why the intention, the assumption behind the person's intention is
Yeah.
important. Because if you don't have good assumptions about your partner's intentions, your
Yeah.
relationship can't work. Like you
Yeah.
can even marry them, but you guys will always have
Have the
issues.
same
That's how,
issues.
yeah, and that's how people end up in relationships where their partners cannot suggest anything to them. Because the
Yeah.
partners already know that regardless of what they say, this
Yeah.
person will assume I have bad intentions.
All right. No, I hear you.
And what I would just say is this: is that you don't give people, you don't assume they are good. Let them earn it. I think I also have to add
No,
that.
she assumes people are good.
No, I assume that after we get into a relationship, because I've
You're going
already done my
in a relationship, there's
process.
going to be a vetting process. That's what
Yeah.
you're saying.
But at that
Yeah.
stage, already in a relationship, you still have to assume.
No. There are people who just okay. This is probably another thing entirely, but there are people who they go into a relationship and then start finding out about the person while they're in the relationship. I'm not talking about marriage.
Yeah.
That's complicated.
So that's what. So please don't just assume because you like the person is going to work, and then that's when you enter scenarios like you said, where someone has dated 7 or 8 people in a year.
What?
He said it. I didn't
Well, I
say it.
mean, the person's having fun. That's all good. Yeah. I mean,
No, exactly.
player will rest their
That's
laurels at some point.
that scenario was different. We were talking about the medical issue. Don't let Bella fool you with that. It wasn't fun. It wasn't because of the fun. We were talking about
Anyway,
being dumped. Did I say fun?
yeah,
It
we've
wasn't.
come to over an hour, so I think that for us, like that has to be the cutoff.
Was
I
it
had
called?
more, but I feel like we're already like out of
I think it was.
time.
You just list them, and we will say yes or no if you agree with them or not. We will not go into discussions.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Let me see. Someone who doesn't want me to meet their friends, I consider it an indication that, yeah, like if I've been dating you for a while, like maybe we've been together for 6, 8, 9 months, almost a year, and I've never met one of your friends.
Yeah,
Like
that's
for
right.
me, I'm just like, okay,
That's
maybe I.
red flag. Are you a criminal?
Even
That's
if a
a
criminal, that's
that's a red flag.
the criminal party.
One
Yeah,
of
like I invite, like say for example, because I'm someone I love hosting. So if I'm like, oh, invite your friends over, let's do games night with my friends, and everybody come over, and you're just like, oh no, they can't make it, and every time they can't make it, I'm just like, "Oop, oop, I should probably
yeah,
just like
serial killer.
quietly leave before my body is in the woods or
This
something.
time,
So that's the thing.
if sorry,
Someone would
this
what?
time, if they genuinely couldn't make it for 9 months, like they all had issues, and now he seemed like the bad
Then
guy.
it's a bad friend. It's a bad
No,
friend.
not in the bad friend. Like life, like they could all be that they
No,
could have been in an
that's
accident
not how life
or
works.
whatever.
For 9 months?
No, people only have one friend. But I promise you, right? What if they traveled for like 9 months and then this guy is like,
Oh,
I'm
then
trying.
just say they've traveled or get them on a video call. Like I want to see you have friends.
To rescue his relationship.
Then someone who doesn't like to spend quality time together. Like there are and when I say quality time, I don't mean necessarily like we're spending expensive time, we're going out or whatever. But there are people who I've noticed where like I'll tell you this, like there was a guy who I really liked. So I noticed like after he had spent 2 hours with me, he would want to leave. Like he was treating me like a dose, like, take 2 hours a day of demi and then disappear. For me, I was just like, you don't like me that much.
Okay.
That's like,
Question: did you have a discussion with Tim to understand?
yes, I brought it up so many times. I'm like, because at first you don't notice these things. Like you're just like, oh, we chilled and then he left. Then for some reason I was like, oh, this person got here at 10, and then by 12 they're like, okay, I'm leaving. Every single time, and you know me, engineering. I started tracking the data. Like I literally started tracking it. Like this person is spending an average of 2 hours with me each time, and then they would disappear, and they would not want to.
It's not necessarily or
They,
not. Just be shouting.
so I was just like, okay, yeah. So for me, that's a thing. Like someone who just cannot imagine themselves spending time with me.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah,
like
yeah.
just like spend it, and it doesn't have to be serious stuff we're doing. We could just be
Yeah.
sitting down talking, watching
Yeah.
TV,
It
doing
doesn't make
something random.
him a bad person, but just not
No,
good.
he's not. But it's just the proof that the relationship won't work because I do love quality time.
He's a low.
Someone who, when I'm ill, doesn't check in.
Okay.
I don't care. Like, I don't care. I don't care. This has happened to me before. I want to make this quick because I want us to like be done in 5 minutes. I met up with this person, and then when I got home, I had like an endometriosis flare, and I was in pain, and I sent them a text to say, I've had a flare. I'm not okay. I'm like literally lying on the floor. I can't move, and I'm just there. And then the person didn't respond the whole time. And for me, again, I was in pain, so I wasn't really tracking that. And then the whole day went by, the following day, nothing. And then the third day, I was like, wow, I didn't hear from this person. So I sent a text. I was like, I told you that I had a flare and you couldn't even send a text. Like, listen, I'm not saying call me because obviously I can't even talk on the phone, but you couldn't even send a text to ask if I'm okay. And this person's response was, everybody's got their own problems, okay?
Hey, you are the problem is not there at this point.
You should have known. 3
I
days is
don't.
enough. 3 days is enough. How many days do you need for confirmation? I
So
don't
that's
blame you. You should have known. The flare was a sign. From, like, wow.
so that for me was an indication I can't date this person. Like, to be honest, I just can't.
Education. It was wrong. It's a sick. That's a sign from above. God rescued you from that situation.
No, they are clearly not on the same page.
They don't use the same book. She said
So
everybody has their own
problem.
problems.
What about? That's enough to even come to
Yes.
that.
Like in another flare, upcoming. It's fine.
So I think so. Like, those are some of the key things that I look out for, and I think also someone who something I would. This is controversial as hell, but somebody who wants to look like a good person. Please hear those words very clearly. Someone who wants to come across as a good person.
But what you
Because
question.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Calm down. Don't poke our eyes out from it through the screen. Better
what's
be
your
careful.
question?
They're sending some wishes down to you from Canada. But don't worry, it won't enter. It doesn't speak French.
So Biola is sweet. Whatever Biola sends me, I know it will be sweet.
Apparently, you're sweet. Who lied to them? Anyways, as I was saying,
Yeah.
are they actually a good person trying to be viewed? Be patient. I don't speak to you. Don't speak to you. Calm down. Are they actually a good person who's trying to get everybody to see them as a good person? But that's another type of problem.
Whichever one it is, the fact
A person trying to be viewed as a good person.
whichever one it is, the fact that you are obsessed.
Yes.
It's not
The
deceit.
fact.
Person
Wait.
It's an effort thing. It's a going above and beyond trying to get everybody to like you.
So it's not about the deceit or anything. But for me, it's about the fact that you are so obsessed with how people view you. And the reason why that is a problem for me, is that I've noticed that those kinds of people will not hesitate to hurt you as their partner if it scores them points on the outside. So they might be good people, but when it comes to the public validation versus your partner, they will choose the public validation.
You know what? I actually understand that, and it's not even that they are hurting you. It's that they don't see it as hurting you. They see that you are supposed to support them, but they put you in a terrible situation where you don't want to be.
I have an example.
E.g., pastors. When you marry a pastor, that's likely to happen.
Because no, I was actually going there because the example I have is a pastor. This guy would be paying fees of other people. Yeah. He wouldn't pay his own children's fees
because his wife can do it, right?
Clothes for the like he I'm pastor of the congregation and I must treat my congregation very well.
But that's very Nigerian.
But it's not.
They're Nigerians, okay? Are you?
No, I'm just saying our problems are very Nigerian. But
apart from Nigerian, you may not. This example is
no.
Nigerian.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it doesn't happen outside of Nigeria.
Yeah,
I'm just saying like if we were to take all of this problem and place it in Nigeria, you and the men, you see that 90% come up, like 20%. I'm just saying she designed all of our issues around Nigeria. It's like a gate blocking in Nigeria before they go enter.
No.
She said no, but is this how she normally says no? It's fine. It's fine.
No, but anyway, I agree with you on.
Yeah, those are some of my big things.
I agree
so
with
yeah,
you.
that's it.
didn't agree with Biola. I don't like Biola. But other than that, I agree with you on everything you said. Except for, please, let us all be more considerate. I know that it's hard. I know that it's not what you didn't sign up for other people's problems. But the reality of the situation is that we all have problems, and you don't know what the other person is also managing on your behalf. So even if the first time is a big deal to you, still be considerate going forward. Because if they genuinely love you and you can see the love, and it's something you can actually tolerate or you can try to tolerate, do please try, and then try to get them to make. If you see that they're making an effort, that's the key word. Try to still be as considerate as possible while they make the effort to fix themselves. Don't be like Biola and just slash them up.
Oh, look at that. That's that. Before you ended that with the last sentence, I was going to be like, "Oh, Daddy Ayo, thank you."
Did you see
Biola,
that?
what were you?
No, Daddy.
I'm not in a competition with you.
You will never be Daddy.
Okay, Biola, please say what you have to say so we can wrap up. We're like literally way out of.
Communication is so important. People need to just, if you don't like something, say it. Now, just because you want to say something doesn't mean you should not consider who you're speaking to and all, but at the end, just say it. Whatever, say, especially if you want this person to be your person or this person is already your person. Please speak. People speak to their friends and everybody else. And
some about telling, find it difficult.
I know.
That's why people commit suicide.
Okay, let's wrap up. Thank you so much, both of you. I really appreciate doing this. Ayo, thanks. Everybody, this has been lovely. Thank you. And yeah.
We're going this way.
No, we are not even going anywhere. We're parking the car now. All right. Bye, everybody.